Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of December 2020. And with Bitcoin reaching its all-time high today, we thought we would talk about what appears to be a major challenger to gold and silver as a safe haven asset or an alternative to a predicted fall in the United States dollar. So let's take a look. Now, before we talk about Bitcoin, a shout out to two videos we published yesterday. The first, Gold and Silver Slumps, China Booms, an oil decision due soon, and Peak Silver Episode 3 and the final episode of that series. And we've placed links to both of these in the description box below. Okay, this morning, Bitcoin jumped to its highest level ever at $19,920. And although it has fallen back since and currently stands at $19,473 and will no doubt have changed by the time this video is published, one has to ask, what the heck is going on? With gold having faced a $260 decline since its all-time high on August the 6th of this year, when it peaked at $2,075, and silver facing a $6.16 decline since its most recent high, also on the 6th of August, it is certainly worth noting that Bitcoin has now itself peaked just shy of $20,000, and we have to ask, is Bitcoin replacing gold and silver as an alternative currency option? Well, first, let's take a look at what Bitcoin is, how it's created, or, in other words, Bitcoin 101. So here goes. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin, often described as a cryptocurrency, a virtual currency, or a digital currency, is a type of money that is completely virtual. It's like an online version of cash. You can use it to buy products and services, but so far, not that many shops accept Bitcoin as yet, though many are beginning to accept it for online transactions. And some countries have banned it altogether. Bear in mind that the physical Bitcoins you see in photographs are generally a novelty. They would be worthless without the private codes printed inside them. How does Bitcoin work? Each Bitcoin is basically a computer file which is stored in a digital wallet app on a smartphone or computer. People can send Bitcoins or fractions of Bitcoins to your digital wallet, and you can send Bitcoins or fractions to other people. Every single transaction is recorded in a public list called the blockchain. Now, this makes it possible to trace the history of Bitcoins to stop people from spending coins that they do not own, making copies of them, or undoing transactions. How do people get Bitcoins? There are three main ways people obtain these. One, you can buy Bitcoins using real money. Two, you can sell things and let people pay you with Bitcoins. And three, they can be created using a computer. So how are they actually created, I hear you ask? Well, in order for the Bitcoin system to work, people can make their computer process transactions for everybody. The computers are made to work out incredibly difficult sums or arithmetical problems. Occasionally, they are rewarded with a Bitcoin for the owner to keep. Now, people do set up very powerful computers to try and obtain these Bitcoins, and this process is commonly called mining. But the sums are becoming more and more difficult as time goes on in order to prevent too many Bitcoins being generated, because of course its value, to a large degree, is based on its scarcity. To put that in perspective, if you started mining today, it could be a number of years before you get a single Bitcoin. Some may argue you could end up spending more money on electricity for your computer than the Bitcoin would be worth. Although if it rises in value 4 or 5 times as it has over the last just under 3 years, then maybe that wouldn't be the case. So why are Bitcoins valuable? Now, there are a lot of things other than money which we consider valuable, like gold, silver, diamonds, etc. Bitcoins are valuable because people are willing to exchange them for real goods and services, and even for cash. The reason people want Bitcoins: some, they like the fact that Bitcoin is not controlled by the government or by banks. People can also spend their Bitcoins pretty much anonymously. Although all transactions are recorded, nobody would know which account number was yours unless you actually told them. So there's a degree of anonymity. Now, the value of Bitcoins have gone up and down over the years. Since it was created in 2009, its value peaked in 2017, then fell back dramatically, but has today now reached all-time highs and is just shy of $20,000. So, having dealt with that, let's take a look at what the BBC News produced about Bitcoin earlier today. BBC article dated 1st of December 2020. Headline: Bitcoin peaks at record high, close to $20,000. Bitcoin has traded at its highest value to date, reaching $19,920.53, according to data provider CoinDesk. It took the virtual currency nearly 3 years to top its previous record, when it peaked about $137 lower. Bitcoin has risen in value by more than 170% since the start of the year. Analysts suggest some investors have treated it as a safe haven asset at a time of uncertainty caused by the coronavirus pandemic, but others warn that it remains volatile. Bitcoin fell below $3,300 at one point after reaching its previous high. Other factors that have supported its recent rise include PayPal allowing its platform to be used to buy and sell the virtual coins in October, and a number of large institutional investors declaring interest in buying into funds tied to the cryptocurrency. These include Guggenheim Partners, a Wall Street firm that announced on Friday it might put as much as $530 million into a Bitcoin-related investment trust. It seems that barely a day goes past when we don't read a headline about a mainstream fund or company expressing an intention to put some of their holdings into Bitcoin, said Rian Lewis, author of The Cryptocurrency Revolution. Price predictions are notorious for being wrong, so it's entirely likely there will be more dips and volatility. But this time it feels very different from the 2017 high. There seems to be more real demand, and the narrative is more measured. She added that another factor was that investors are concerned that central bank efforts to deal with COVID-19 will fuel inflation. Gold and other precious metals are traditionally used to hedge against such a risk. But because in theory only a limited amount of Bitcoin can ever be created, it was designed to only let 21 million Bitcoins be produced, of which about 18.6 million already exist. Some favour it as an alternative. If it does climb higher, there could be sudden drops in value, however, as some traders will have set automatic sell orders pegged to it reaching the $20,000 mark. One expert warned members of the public to be careful. Never invest money you can't afford to lose, said finance and economics writer Francis Coppola. Bitcoin is a speculative asset and has a history of sudden crashes. It's not worth risking your house or your life savings for it. And borrowing to invest in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies is a bad idea, unless you're a professional trader. Bitcoin is often referred to as a new kind of currency, but it may be best to think of its units being virtual tokens rather than physical coins or notes. However, like all currencies, its value is determined by how much people are willing to exchange for it. To process Bitcoin transactions, a procedure called mining must take place, which involves a computer solving a difficult mathematical problem with a 64-digit solution. For each problem solved, one block of Bitcoins is processed. In addition, the miner is rewarded with new Bitcoins. This provides an incentive for people to provide computer processing power to solve the problems. To compensate for the growing power of computer chips, the difficulty of the puzzles is adjusted to ensure a steady stream of new Bitcoins are produced each day. To receive a Bitcoin, a user must have a Bitcoin address, a string of 27 to 34 letters and numbers, which acts as a kind of virtual postbox to and from which the Bitcoins are sent. Since there is no register of these addresses, people can use them to protect their anonymity when making a transaction. These addresses are in turn stored in Bitcoin wallets, which are used to manage savings. They operate like privately run bank accounts, with the proviso that if the data is lost, so are the Bitcoins owned. End of article. Now, we ourselves are not great Bitcoin or any form of cryptocurrency fan, though that does not mean that it's not worth holding any, or obtaining any, or at least following it and monitoring its progress. You see, the world has recently gone through, and is currently still going through, perhaps the worst pandemic and global conflict in over a century. With the 1918 pandemic, the H1N1 virus, the influenza pandemic, being the worst ever seen. Economies across the globe have all been adversely affected, and politicians have really never been viewed with such a high degree of partisanship and contempt as they are today. Yet despite this, gold has only beaten its all-time previous highs, which were achieved some 9 years ago, by under $200, and silver struggles to even reach 3/5 of its all-time high of just shy of $50. Yet a relative newcomer to the investment fraternity, in just over a decade, has risen from virtually no value to being worth just shy of $20,000. And with the take-up now by investment firms and analysts' recommendations, could quite seriously have much further to go. That said, one of our many concerns we do have about Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency is a mixture of governments' attempts to ban them and their use in crime and money laundering activities. We found an interesting article, again published by the BBC, which addresses this very issue. It's quite short, so let's just take a quick look. BBC article dated 5th of November 2020. Headline: Bitcoin, $1 billion seized from Silk Road account by US government. More than $1 billion in Bitcoin linked to the notorious Silk Road website has been seized by the US Department of Justice. Earlier this week, cryptocurrency watchers noticed about 70,000 Bitcoins being moved from an account believed to be linked to the illicit marketplace. Silk Road was an online black market, selling everything from drugs to stolen credit cards and murderers for hire. It was shut down by the US government in 2013. The sum is the largest amount of cryptocurrency seized to date by the Department of Justice. On Thursday, US Attorney David Anderson confirmed that the officials had seized the cryptocurrency assets. Silk Road was the most notorious online criminal marketplace of its day, he said in a statement. The successful prosecution of Silk Road's funder in 2015 left open a billion-dollar question: where did the money go? Today's forfeiture complaint answers this open question, at least in part. $1 billion of these criminal proceeds are now in the United States' possession. The Internal Revenue Service's Criminal Investigation Unit said it used third-party company to analyze Bitcoin transactions that had been executed by Silk Road. This led it to an address belonging to individual X, who is alleged to have hacked the funds from the marketplace. Law enforcement officers in turn took control of the sum on the 3rd of November, and the Department of Justice claims the funds are now subject to forfeiture. Criminal proceedings should not remain in the hands of the thieves, said IRS Special Agent Kelly Jackson. In 2015, Bitcoin seized from a different wallet associated with Silk Road was sold at auction by the US government. Silk Road creator Ross Ulbricht is currently serving 2 life sentences in prison after being found guilty of money laundering, computer hacking, and conspiracy to traffic narcotics. In a future video, we shall look at the merits and demerits of gold or silver versus Bitcoin. But for now, we believe it's well worth monitoring what is happening in this space. And for those who wish to know more about Bitcoin, we've placed 1 or 2 links in the description box below of programs which can provide further guidance on the subject. For those that incur a cost, we may be remunerated by the form of a commission, and obviously those that do not, there is no remuneration at all. By all means, check them out if you have the time or the interest. Meanwhile, do share below your comments. What do you think about this recent surge in Bitcoin prices? And is it something that you feel you should be considering? Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel. Not forgetting to press the bell sign so that you're notified of our videos as and when they are published. And yesterday we published yet another video on the Richard and Greg channel, which we also heartily recommend to you. Links to all of which are listed below. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe either as a free or paying member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer: Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.